Alright, David Harry here, and this is one of my preliminary videos in which I'm just trying to work out a kind of optimized position for this Stellar X2 microphone for doing this piece to camera stuff. I don't know, is this podcasting or vlogging? I don't know, but this like typical position with the mic in show, doing your piece to camera type thing. Now, of course, the big problem with getting close to any microphone, and especially a condenser mic, is you are basically, well, a couple of things really, potential overloading and stuff like that, but also plosiving. So plosiving is where, like, you know, you air, like a puff of air, like when you say P or B and stuff like that, will basically distort the capsule. It's basically just too much air movement or too much air hitting the capsule, and it just overloads the capsule. So what I'm doing here is starting off first of all with the microphone just to the side of me and coming in at an angle. Now, don't know whether it's going to be clear enough to you. I'm just having a quick look here on the screen just to see. I don't know if it's going to be clear enough to you, but what it is, the angle is actually pointing straight at my mouth, but it is not in front of me where it's likely to be like getting battered by air movement from my mouth. So when I start saying things like P, 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 B, 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 P, 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 it's mostly the P's, not so much the B's, but P's definitely are the things that will kind of give you plosives. And if the mic is right in front of you, you're definitely going to get plosives if you haven't got some form of protection on the microphone. Now, the thing is, if you're going to get close to a cardioid like this so that you can basically get the benefits of like bass proximity, which is where you start getting that more fuller, bassier, richer tone, just basically because you're right close to the microphone. It's basically an effect of using a cardioid as opposed to an omni and stuff like that. Although any cardioid pattern or any type of microphone will definitely benefit from you getting as close as you can to the capsule. It's just that you do end up picking up this thing called bass proximity when you're using the likes of a cardioid condenser and stuff like that, or any cardioid. Anyways, so far, hopefully, I have not been plosiving. However, I want to try and get the microphone into a more traditional position in front of me, as opposed to it coming in from the side like this. Because the other thing is, when it's in front of you, you are actually like, you know, the microphone is picking up the most energy that it can do when it's sitting in front of you. So let me just change the position of the mic. Okay, so the position of the mic right now means that I'm probably going to be plosiving like mad on it. Now, maybe the tone will have changed a little bit more, or I might sound like a bit more stronger or more energetic. And that's because, for the best part, the microphone is in a much closer position to where all the energy of my voice is coming from. But obviously, this is now going to run the risk of plosives, so P's, P's, B's, and all the rest of it. I may have to have lowered that down in post if it was too bad. But nonetheless, yeah, this will definitely be plosiving and will be subject to wind movement. Now, the thing is here, ignore the position of the boom arm and stuff. I just haven't got the time to get it all in a better position. Usually, I'd have the boom coming up from the bottom, but have the mic in a similar type position like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just run through some of these things. Okay, so first off then, there is this foam filter, and this is the one that comes with the Stellar X2. Now, these are going to be good for reducing a fair bit of like plosives because it decelerates the wind movement coming out your mouth loads. But the only problem with something like this, it can have a drastic effect on tone. In fact, anything that you place in front of a microphone will have a drastic effect on tone anyways. But this may be more than most things. However, if the tone changes slightly, but you get to drop all the plosives and stuff like that, then you're probably not going to moan about a slight change in tone if you're getting the assistance with the lack of plosives with something like this. I still don't know what it sounds like. Yeah, this is my first test, hence preliminary test and stuff like that. So you can get to hear yourself exactly what it is or it isn't doing as far as plosives are concerned. So let me just hit it hard with some P's and B's. P, 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 B, 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 P, 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 P. The chances are it's mostly the P's and not so much the B's which are going to give most of the issues. But being this close, I don't know whether even this fairly thick foam thing is going to reduce it that much, or we definitely probably will still get some of the plosives coming off the bigger P's and stuff like that. Now let me change over again. Okay, so I've now switched over to the metal mesh filter here. Now these are generally better than the foam ones on a couple of levels, and the first one usually for me is tone. What it is, the metal mesh ones tend not to destroy as much of the tone as what the foam ones do. You may even find that the foam ones can knock out a fair bit of upper presence like HF and stuff like that, whereas the metal mesh ones tend not to do that as badly. These things obviously have to be tested on a mic by mic basis and stuff like that, so although these generally have a fairly similar outcome or response, they might change that slightly from mic to mic as well. However, hopefully what I've heard now, or what we are hearing now, is that tonally this might actually sound a bit better with the upper presence and stuff. High frequencies and things may have been more intact by using this. However, because of the proximity that I am, it's debatable as to how much anything like this is going to knock out the plosives. So once again, for the plosives, P, 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 B, 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 P, 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 B, B, B. Again, it's mostly the P's that cause most of the problems. And again as well, although the mic is in this closer in front of me type position compared to when it was at the side, the thing is it still isn't right in front of me. And if it was right in front of me, I could have a few more options if it was a VO scenario, which I will test in a second because I've got a popper stopper on over here. But right now, this should give us a really good idea of what I could get away with close up like this as far as the mesh or the metal mesh and the foam is concerned. Now let me just go over onto the, I'm just going to pop over onto the popper stopper. Okay, so I've switched over now onto this dual layer nylon popper stopper. Now, in a different scenario, this is probably going to be the best thing for reducing plosives, but the way that anything like this works best is to have a bit of a distance between it and the microphone. So normally about 3 to 4 inches away from the mic itself. And then the actual thing, the popper stopper itself, should be at an angle to the capsule, so maybe something like 25-degree angle, something like that, 25-30 degrees. Now, the reason why you have the distance is because any air that comes through the back of the popper stopper has got more volume of air in front of it, which helps to decelerate it before it hits the capsule. And then also having it at an angle from the front here will also help to deflect wind as well. So it's all about kind of deflection and deceleration of air movement, which is what is going to help to reduce the plosives. But right now, because it is so close, I don't know if it's going to be as effective as it would be if it was kind of like, just off a bit more, and then in total, maybe if I was about 6 to 8 inches away from the microphone. Right now, I'm probably about 3 inches away from the mic, but it's this type of tone or this position for the tone that I'm trying to work out like the best way to get it. Hence, what this actual video test is for. Anyways, yeah, so I think I could probably carry on rabbiting on about a whole bunch of things here, but this very quick rough test will give me an idea between the foam, the metal mesh, and the popper stopper. It's unlikely I'll use the popper stopper because, to be honest, I'm not going to do this on camera, I don't think. Stuff like this, if it worked well, then this would be great for off camera or doing VO stuff, but not for this. But I thought I would test it anyway just to see what it's like. So anyways, if anyone has come across the video and has got this far into it, let me know, if you don't mind, in the comments section, how which of the methods may have sounded the best. I appreciate they all will have been plosive and stuff like that to some degree, but the thing with this, because I'm trying to test for absolute microphone quality, I don't want to be doing things with EQ, so adding bass cuts or any kind of shelving, because ultimately that does alter the tonal response of the microphone. So I don't want to be using anything in front of the recording, such as a voice channel unit, and I most certainly don't want to be doing it in post. The only thing I do in post is to add limiting, and that's just to raise the volume for the output for YouTube tube. So yes, I could get away with like reducing a lot more of the plosives if I use tone control, but again, you do tone control, it starts interfering with the natural sound of the microphone. Everything like these also interferes, but using tonal changes, you're basically then not testing the microphone, you're testing your ability to use the tone control. Anyways, yeah, so I think I've explained myself enough for this preliminary test. I've got to get off now because yeah, I'm literally just a few minutes away from the WWDC event. So I want to watch that and see how many of these Apple fanboys got it wrong and see how many of them are actually going to admit they got it wrong afterwards. That's something else I'm going to have to do in another video. This whole weird world of Apple fanboys. Anyways, enough of that talk because that normally leads to upsetting people and that's not what I want to do with this video. There will be another video for upsetting people, but not this one. Anyways, I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.